of course, if you guys ever feel like it, feel free to do a watch party with this. If you know anyone who would, benefit from today's video on a mindset shift, oh man, this is going to be like, I don't know if you guys ever watch mindset like podcasts or TED Talks or any of those kinds of things, but man, can't we all just always use a mindset shift? I know I can. It never hurts to have that. So anyways, yeah, good morning. It is 8 o'clock here in the Portland, Vancouver area. And I'm going to talk with you guys today about a mindset shift. And I really like to think of this in terms, of course, having been a financial coach from an investment standpoint. It's not just about money. Today, I'm not going to actually probably want to talk that much about money. It's actually about everything else in your life. So do you feel like you live like in a more reactionary way in your life? Like you don't really know what's coming, you kind of roll with the punches, go with the flow, but you feel like you're constantly just reacting to the things that happen. How about your purpose and intention? Do you feel like it's really hard to be purposeful in what you do? Do you feel intentional about the things that you do in your life? The people that you spend time with, all of that. Do you feel that way? Or do you feel like you're just going like a hamster in a wheel and you're never getting anywhere? I've so been there. And there are certain times of life that feel more that way anyways, like when you're driving your teenagers around to, from school to activity, to friends, to this, to that. It's like all you do is drive. So I get that. There's also times of life that you can still be intentional in those times and still accomplish a lot, but they feel like, oh my gosh, all I do is drive. So I totally get that. How much negativity are you getting in your life? Like, do you feel like you're just negative all the time, kind of feeling depressed, sorrowful, maybe even exhausted? When you don't take control of a lot of these things, that's how it can feel. You feel tired all the time. Do you feel that way? I know I get there sometimes, and then it takes okay, what am I going to do with this day? What is my intention today? If I don't start to switch my brain in that way, then I can let a whole day go by, guys, and just watch Netflix. And I feel like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to cook dinner tonight. I just don't want to do anything. Like all I want to do is sit here and eat junk food, and that's it. So it's really important on a regular basis, daily, weekly, heck, sometimes hourly, maybe even by the minute. It's important to take control of what we're allowing into our mind. So, we talked about time and money a little bit ago. We've talked about living in a mindset of forgiveness. That's also really important. But, we don't want to be in a place like I'm 38. So yeah, I'm 38. I'm just going to tell you my age. I'm super proud of it. I love it. I'm actually really looking forward to my 40s. But I don't want to be in a place where I never feel like I can get ahead. Like I always feel like I'm behind. I never feel like I'm catching up, let alone being able to plan for the future. So it's really important to take this. You don't want to be in the place when you're 40, 50, 60, still waiting for your ship to come. Let's create that, guys. And that starts with your mindset. So, when we get in a rut, you can't take care of yourself. You definitely can't take care of others. It's impossible to really think very positively. I mean, you can, but it takes extra work. It takes a regular practice of this in order to make sure that, you can be that person all the time. There's a really great book called The Go-Giver. And I can't remember which version. There's 3 different books. They're all amazing. I highly recommend them. I actually re-listen to them all the time because they're so good. And one of the mentors said, she doesn't have to act in a calm way because she just is calm. There's a difference. There's a difference between allowing yourself to be that calm person versus having to act like a calm person. Does that make sense? So the other thing is, you know, when you are really in this kind of rut, in this not being intentional, it squishes your creativity. I can tell you for years and years and years when I was really struggling with depression and not recognizing it, I had all these amazing creative ideas, but then I'd never do any of them because I was too tired, exhausted, and so what that does though is it actually does squash that creativity. You may get some more creative ideas, but creativity comes out of being creative and doing those things. Like now when I do finished projects, I'm like so ready for the next thing. Like I'm ready to just keep going and going and going and going because that creativity spawns more creativity. So you really, and you also don't see the opportunities that can be there. Like you have, opportunity happens when you're prepared for it. It's not just like, you know, so many people think, oh, they just got lucky, or, you know, we see these like overnight successes. That was not an overnight success. That person has been preparing, and it just happened that an opportunity came and they knew what it was going to look like and they jumped on it, you know, because they've been in that mindset. And so you can't recognize opportunities if you're not in a practice that allows you to see them, if you don't even know what they look like. So, you know, and we want to accomplish big dreams and goals. You know, those of you who have subscribed to my free book and coaching program, which again, I'll put the link in. So if you haven't, you can do it. And it trickles in on the basis that I want it to trickle in. So like our 5-day challenge only comes in on a Monday. And then it'll go through the week. We have 2 5-day challenges in there right now. We have the finance one and we have the time one, and they're mostly just about getting organized. Anyways, you know a lot about yourself. You have a lot of life experience, but maybe there's just something that's holding you back. Mindset is one that I see a lot. Not being able to have a positive, non-reactionary, purposeful mindset is a really big one that I see. So this particular week is going to lay the ground foundation for all the amazing things to come. We talked yesterday, technically on Facebook, but it'll come in once a week in the book. So last week, yesterday, whichever, we actually discussed, what did we discuss? I can't even remember off the top of my head now, all of a sudden. That's where my brain is. We discussed your story. There it is. And how important that is, and looking at it and making sure to acknowledge the good, the bad, the ugly. And then here is where we're going to get to take some of that stuff and start putting it into action. Okay, so there you go. There's my preface. We're going to move on here, and we're going to start with your family playbook. So in the book, you will find a worksheet that actually, oh, very interesting. That's funny. I don't actually think I put this in the book. I'm going to have to make sure I add that. It's okay. As I've been doing this, I thought my book was finished, and then I started doing like these videos and putting the coaching stuff together. And I realized like, oh, I just said that they should take a piece of paper and write what they want. And then I realized like, oh, I should put that in the book. So it's been kind of one of these things like I thought I was done, but nope, I'm not fully done. So I'm going to add this in. What I want to look at, this is something that we learned when we were in getting certified as marriage coaches. We have playbooks. So we all come from a team of origin, basically a family, right? And we deal with things a certain way. So like, you know, when your family dealt with confrontation, what did that look like? Did they just yell and scream, or did they avoid it completely? Like, did they just not even deal with it? And then you got this big elephant in the room, and you're like, okay, there's this thing we just don't talk about. It happened, but I guess we're supposed to pretend like it didn't happen. How did your family deal with things? how did they parent? How did you guys do chores in your family? How did you deal with relationships, confrontation, accomplishing things? Did you guys set goals as a family? Or was it just kind of a thrown in the wind? Hey, we're going to do this thing and we might not ever actually do it, but that's what we're saying. And yeah, who knows? We might actually accomplish it. We might not. And maybe never even set goals. Maybe that wasn't even a thing. What about your finances? Did you guys manage time? The thing that tends to happen, and I crack up about this because the biggest thing we see this in is the toilet paper roll. How people put toilet paper on the roll seems to be this big deal. And it's funny because I've always not really cared. I don't really care how I put the toilet paper roll. Like as soon as I need it, I just put it on and I don't even like look at what I do. So maybe I do put it on a certain way subconsciously, but I don't even know. But my family will argue over which way the toilet paper roll should go. And I'm sure going further, like as they go and have roommates and spouses and whatever else, that's going to be one of those silly arguments. Well, in our family, we did it this way. And I'm going to be like, nah, I didn't do it that way. I didn't do it anyway. I didn't really care. But there are silly little things that we bring into everything, like everything that we do. So when you're dealing with a confrontation, if your family yelled a lot, that could for you just be like, send you off and trigger you. And so it's really important to really look at, okay, in a marriage, this is really important because then you're bringing two different playbooks into one. And this family did it this way, this family did it this way, and then somehow you've got to figure out how you want it to work. When we looked at parenting, we looked at how my parents parented, how my husband's parents parented. We grabbed some outside counsel, some books and different things. And we determined like, okay, this is the goal that we have. This is where we want to get with our kids. So here's how we're going to do this. And, it like, we have to revisit this from time to time, because when they become teenagers, that's a very different phase of parenting than a toddler, right? So you have to revisit them and really think about your goals. And that's the important part here is you really have to look at what it is that you're wanting to get in life. Do you want to be a leader? Well, then you probably can't deal with confrontation by yelling and screaming, right? And you also can't avoid it though. You have to, make sure that you are dealing with things as they come up. One of my girlfriends is a manager at a bank. And, sometimes I hear her stories about how she deals with things. And I got to tell you, she's amazing. Like we could all learn from her. The ways that she handles things, the way that she deals with constructive criticism and coaching her team. And it's no wonder that when she runs a bank, that lots of leaders come out of that. Like, in fact, it almost was sad because I'm like, can you quit training them so well? Because then they end up getting these promotions and leaving. And then I don't know anybody anymore at your bank. So it's so important to really look at that though. Sit down, write down that we'll have different categories, parenting, all those categories I named off. How did your family deal with those? Your team, your family of origin deal with those things? And then looking forward, how do you want to deal with those things? Do you like the way that you've been dealing with it because you just did it the way your parents did it? Or, my dad always did this, so this is the way I'm going to do it. Is that how you want to be? I think we can so easily fall into those characters in a sense of like, oh, my dad always did this way, so that's just how I'm going to do it. Well, that might have worked for your dad in a different generation, a different time, but things are changing, guys. And we can't always just stick with the way that things were, right? So we have to adapt. We have to become the people we want to become. And we can't do that if we're stuck in the past. Okay. So looking at your playbook, how did your family deal with things? And how do you want to deal with things moving forward? So this leads right into the investment versus spending. So when I say this, of course, everybody thinks money. It's actually not all about money. It is actually about everything that you do every day. And that's funny because I actually thought that I had written down, I thought I'd actually written down the difference between the investment and spending. I probably did in the book. But here's the deal. Investing, we know, is long-term. Small little things add up to bigger things, and it's delayed gratification, right? Spending is like, hey, I just bought this thing and it's definitely not going to make me any money. Like maybe it's just chocolate. I'm going to eat it. It's delicious. It's totally not delayed gratification. And it really doesn't even do anything for me. In fact, if it does anything, it does the opposite of what I want it to do, right? If only chocolate could be like super healthy, that would be amazing. But it's, you know, there are some studies that say it is, right? But it has to be dark chocolate, can't be milk chocolate, and probably has to be organic. And yeah, anyways, I digress. So in our lives, we have so many things that we do, right? We have lots of roles that we play. Like me, if I sit down to write down my roles, it's this long, guys. It's this long list of roles, and that's not even all of them. And so what are things that we can do on a daily basis to make those things better? You know, health is a big one on this one. This is a very easy example because we all know that we should try to be healthier, right? And so what small steps can we make on a daily basis to get to that bigger goal of weight loss, healthier lifestyle, that kind of a thing? And it really does take daily action, right? Like I know for me, I'm doing intermittent fasting right now. So if I can just push my eating time back to 10 a.m., I do drink my coffee, which technically you're not supposed to do. So who knows? Maybe it's not really working. I don't know. I feel better. So that's my measurement. But push it to 10 a.m. every day. That's awesome. And that's a small thing that I can do, and it's great. You know, another thing that I can do throughout my week is, while I'm chopping celery, just chop enough for the whole week and put them into containers. And that's great. I can separate out the boiled eggs into those containers too. So I can, I don't have to necessarily say, okay, I'm doing all my meal planning on Sunday. For me, that's overwhelming. But if I'm already chopping celery and just chop for the rest of the week, that's actually easy for me. Because I'm like, well, I'm already doing it anyways. The knife is dirty. The cutting board is dirty. All I got to do is separate it out, wash the celery, chop it up, good to go, right? So making sure that it fits for how your brain works. Some of you, if you're like, I got to do this on Sunday because I'm not going to have another time to do it later, so I just need to get it done, that's great. Then do that. It's just making sure that it fits for you. What are your small steps that you can do to make sure that you have success, right? So I'm going to just read off some of the categories. These will be in the investment versus spending worksheet in the book. But I want you to really think about small steps that you can make in each, small investments. So if this was a bank, you have a little piggy bank, picture a piggy bank, and you're putting a coin into the piggy bank every time that you do these. You are investing, and eventually that piggy bank is going to get full, right? You're going to reach that main goal. So my morning routine is a way that I look at this. When I first kind of started thinking, oh, I should probably have a morning routine, but I really didn't want to. Like, I just didn't have any desire to put a morning routine together. I'd heard lots of podcasts about it. I'm a podcast fiend. I love them. So I'd heard my organizing gal, I'd heard a couple of mentors talk about it, and I was like, I just don't even want to do this. I have no desire. So I didn't. But one morning I was washing my face and the water was nice and hot, and I was massaging it, and the soap just smelled so good. And in fact, I think I was doing coconut oil at that time. So actually it was just coconut oil on my face. And then I got the hot washcloth and wiped it all off. I just had this sense of like, wow, this is so nice. Something I hadn't really had a sense of before. Like, I don't know why it just hit me that one time. And it really was like this light bulb that went off. Like, this is something I can do for myself every day as a self-care thing. It was like my brain switched from, I got to do this, spend time washing my face, brushing my teeth, doing all these things that I have to do every single day, to, oh, this is something that I can do for myself. It obviously is great for my skin, and it's a little piece of self-care in my super busy day. And so it really switched my mind from that spending to investment. One other example I'll give you is my laundry. I did a closet challenge a while ago, and I'll probably put that one again into the book, because we will do a lot of things about you, and style is definitely one for me that I really love. And one thing that I had realized is, like, I mean, I hate doing laundry. Who loves doing laundry? I mean, I'm sure there are those people that do. We all have people that love different things, right? If you love doing laundry, please come to my house. That would be great. But I just hated, it's a regular thing. It's there all the time. It never really goes down. And if it does go down, it goes right back up, because, we're always wearing, our stuff, and we're using towels and all of that. But as I was doing my closet challenge, I started kind of pulling. I've got a small closet. It's an IKEA closet. So it's, it's not huge, but I realized aesthetically, I didn't like it stuffed. So I started kind of pulling out fall colors. And, I am a person who doesn't believe that, like, certain colors are just for fall, certain colors are just for spring. I'll wear any color when I want to wear any color. So I wouldn't actually clean out that stuff. But what I started to notice as I started to pull stuff out was like, I, just like at a store, I really love being able to just look in my closet and get super inspired by what's in there. I can't do that when it's stuffed. So I started purposefully pulling things out for fall and just putting them away. So it does a couple of things. It's really fun. One, it makes my closet so much more visually appealing. I have all my fun colors in there for spring and summer. And when I get to open up the fall stuff, it's so much fun. It's like I'm getting a gift. But, that little bit of being able to do that for myself, then I actually I went and got some pretty hangers at Ross, the velvet ones, and being able to actually hang my stuff up on the hangers, have them in my closet looking beautiful like a store, was a small investment that I could make in myself. And I'm going to tell you, I'm actually going to take that investment a little bit further now, because I've been doing this for a little while. My closet's not always perfect, guys. It's not. But for the most part, I try to keep it looking pretty good. But I'm going to take that a step further. I always turn my hangers backwards every 6 months. And that's not just to get rid of stuff. That actually is to say, hey, should I put this in the fall colors because I didn't really wear it? Or do I really love this piece, and should I be intentional to make an outfit for it? And then, okay, no, actually, I don't really love this piece, so I need to get rid of it. Like, I want to feel like $1 million in every piece that I own. And so the step that I'm going to take further is I'm actually going to start planning out my outfits for the whole week. And what that does is, when it, that hanger still turned backwards, I can, while not in the morning when I'm busy trying to get ready, I can actually take those out and intentionally make outfits for them. So anyways, all right. So those are some really great examples of little investments that you can make. You can change your mindset from spending, which is, that, oh, I got to do this, to investment. Like, I get to do these cool things for myself, and they're going to build up over time to make excellent, goal reaching kind of things. So how about your roles that you're in? If you're a wife, a mom, a daughter, a sister, a friend, all those roles, you volunteer. Your routines and systems, like I talked about my morning routine. Self-care, what are some things you can do to invest in yourself there? Your mind. What are some things like you can do to not allow so much negative in? And furthermore, what are some positive things you can do? Music, podcasts, movies, books. Like, what can you do to add more positive? What can you stop doing to quit adding negative? What brings you joy? How about your body? Nourishment, movement. That's not just eating and exercising. That can also be getting massages or, acupuncture. It can be taking a nap. Home. What about at your work or school? I always, no matter what scenario I'm in, sorry, I've got a jet going overhead. Hopefully you guys don't hear it too badly. No matter what situation I'm in, I always am myself. My signature self constitution, which will be at the end of my book. You guys can fill it out. I am always that person. Money, of course, that's in there. Love, your relationships, friends, family, fun. Fun's one that we do tend to leave out a lot, and we need to have fun. I, for a while there, was not allowing myself to go have fun doing the things I enjoyed doing, like karaoke and dancing and things like that. And I didn't feel like a woman. I felt just like a mom all the time. I needed to get out and do those things, right? So this page will be in there. You can go through, you can say, okay, how can I, we'll look at where you're at now. What are you spending time on? And how can you start investing in yourself in little ways? Okay. Finally, two more things, the range of you. I call it Eeyore to Elwoods. It's a little bit extreme. Eeyore, I don't know if any of us are really Eeyore, but there's a time when I need to be calm, Mariah. If I was to go into a situation like a hospital, I'm not going to go in there all upbeat, woohoo, kind of Mariah. No. So I go from a calm, or Eeyore, I guess. Eeyore is really more sad and comatose, so that's not quite right, but it was two E's, it worked. But I have from calm Mariah all the way up to I've got to go speak. I need to be upbeat, super energetic, outgoing Mariah. It doesn't mean I'm fake. It doesn't mean I'm not being authentic. It just means I've got to pull out different pieces of who I am in those situations. I'm always raw. I'm always honest. Always, I'm always that person that I am, but I can pull out a different range of my personality. So I want you guys to just think about who you are as a person and what your ranges are. And certain situations, if you can think throughout your day, I love Brendon Burchard talks about how we waste a lot of energy in transitions because we don't think about what we need to be when we go into different situations. He gave the example of coming from work. He needed a different personality at work than he does when he came home to be with the kids and his wife, right? So he needs to think about that. He actually needed to take a little pause, kind of gather himself, think through, get some energy, and know that, okay, now it's time to give my family the best. And so instead of going into that situation where he's still kind of in work mode, still thinking about the things from work, all of that stuff, and probably not giving them his full attention. And so then they don't really feel like he's really there. He was fully there when he walked in that door. Does that make sense to you guys? So I know I need that in different scenarios. Like when I leave church after children's ministry, I love those kids so much, but I can tell you, I am on. If you had an on and off switch, I am on, so that when I get home after church, I am ready to just turn it off and I'm ready to go take a nap. And if I don't get that nap, which doesn't always happen, I feel it. I just need that little bit of time to just unwind, calm down, chill out, get my brain off of all of the things and just calm, right? Okay. And now finally, one of my favorite things. This is a concept that I've heard in a few ways. I've heard of it from movie stars. But just recently, my girlfriend, her little niece needs a team for, just for her success, for hearing and different things that she has going on. She has a team at school. And it was really cool because someone had told her, hey, isn't it so fun to be on team? I'm not going to say her name. And that we get to like help her succeed. And that really just kind of hit me in a different way. Like, yeah, movie stars have stylistic teams. They have, you know, all kinds of teams for all kinds of different things. Why don't we? You know, we know that we need people for different things, right? We talked yesterday about, you know, help with getting counseling. If you need someone to just talk to and help you work through some things, that's a person on your team. So I have different people on my team. My really good friend, one of my really good friends is my accountability partner. And we talk about like everything, finances, marriage, parenting, all of that stuff. And we hold each other accountable. And I can tell you there have been times that I've been able to call her when I am in the midst of things. And it's amazing. Like I just need it. If I need prayer, I know I can call her. I've got a team of people that I can like reach out to and say, hey, can you pray for me? This is what I'm going through. You know, I have my stylist who, by the way, Christina, woohoo, she did a great job. We're bringing in the grays up in the front. I noticed that my hair was going pretty white in these areas. So I'm like, let's just pull it all the way through. Just make it white all the way through. But she does a fantastic job keeping my hair looking really great. In fact, she did it last night. We do late appointments with her because she's got 3 cute little girls. And so we got done about midnight. So I pretty much came home with beautiful hair and went to bed. But that's okay. You know, what about, so who do you need on your team and what do you need on your team too? I mentioned music, podcasts, movies, books, mentors. Like, what do you need to basically move to where you want to go for the future? And then who do you need to add to your team? I know for me, as soon as I can, and I don't know when this is going to happen, but as soon as I can, I want to add someone to come and clean, like do the deep cleans in my house, because I do not thrive in that. I'm not good at it. I don't love it. So I have other things that I'm good at and need to be doing, my zone of genius. So that person can take care of that stuff. You know, my husband actually does most of the cooking. Our kids cook once a week. So that kind of helps there. But someday I'd love to bring in like a personal chef. There's several things that I would love to add to who is on our team. A videographer for me eventually, you know, so there's things that I want to accomplish that will require more team members. I have my VA right now who does a lot of things for me, and that is so great. So yeah, who do you need on your team? So all of these things will be in the mindset portion of the book. This is chapter 3. Yep, chapter 3. So don't worry, it's all in there. You can watch this video to kind of help you go through them, but it's pretty self-explanatory once you know you've kind of watched this. So that is it for today, guys. Let me know if you need anything. If you have questions about this stuff, of course, email me at mariahyoung@gmail.com. Super easy. Or of course, in the book, you know, you can reach out there too. So, all right, guys, have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.